Well, welcome back. Long time no talk. We were just on about 3 hours ago. But we got our dumb friend Tim on, who pitches for the Yankees. Appreciate you coming on, Tim, as always.
Thanks.
Gonna get some insights on the ALCS, some preview into the World Series, and what life is looking like for this guy. Because we talk, I mean, everybody knows what's going on in terms of what you see on TV. So I was just gonna ask you a couple questions on what the behind the scenes look like, because it sounds like it's probably pretty crazy right now, going back and forth across the country.
Yeah.
So, Brian, you said you had a question to lead us off. Which I'm a little
so, Tim, let's just get this out of the way right now. Favorite cartoon character? Go.
Favorite cartoon character?
Don't fuck this one up.
Don't fuck it up, dude.
Yeah. Come on.
Daffy Duck.
You don't say Jessica Rabbit, I'm going to fucking kick your ass.
Daffy Duck's not bad.
I'll take
Daffy Duck.
Or Elmer Fudd,
Elmer Fudd.
All right. I think, Brian, you should give him like more of an in-depth thing. Like not like cartoon. Like he can pick somebody else.
No, Mila Kunis would be his winner. But I met his wife and she's a stud. She's way cooler than him.
I can't figure this thing out.
But yeah, that would be.
All right, let's get to brass tacks, Tim.
Yeah.
How nervous are you, man? Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. I mean, I'm nervous. It's the World Series and biggest stage in baseball. So yeah, there's definitely some nerves. Had some trouble sleeping the last just couple nights, and yeah, it's like when you break it down and you break this World Series in particular down, it's like the collection of talent that's going to be on the field is insane. I mean, Judge Ohtani, Betts, Soto, Freeman, Stanton. It's like I think it's definitely what baseball wanted. Is this World Series with the two franchises involved and the players involved, and I think just you look at the lineups and there's heavy hitters on both sides, which definitely is going to make it difficult to kind of navigate, but we'll find a way to and see what we can do. But yeah, there's definitely going to be some nerves, and it's definitely a big stage in two of the biggest markets in baseball.
Off the cuff, how would you pitch Freddie Freeman right now?
Can't give away secrets like that.
Yeah. What do you want me to say? Sinkers?
Well, I'm not trying to give it out there, but I mean, like, how you want like aways, you want ins, you want speed, you want directional.
I want whatever's going to get them on the ground. So
truth.
That's kind of where I'm at with that is get them on the ground and get them to hit it at one of our fielders. So
I mean, if I'm Tim, I'm not worried about Freddie Freeman right now. I'm worried about another left-handed hitter in that lineup. Freddie Freeman's not keeping me up at night right now.
Mike, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask you, Tim. So with the obvious, it's intense. I mean, I can imagine how with the intensity level that you feel when you pitch, especially in a situation like this in the World Series. How do you handle batter to batter? Do you go with, and the reason why I say that is, I know you have a scouting report. The reason why I say that is, do you go batter to batter at the current time, or do you go off tendencies? Would be a question I had.
Like hitter tendencies?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at the season. You're looking at, I think hitters for the most part tend to be some hitters tend to be a little more aggressive when runners are on. They want to get a pitch over the plate early and drive in runs. I mean, you're doing all your homework pregame to be able to go batter to batter, and then that way while you're warming up, your bullpen coach is giving you like small little bits of information, just to kind of like small notes, like cheat notes that can help you just in a pinch, like, okay, where do I need to go, or where can I go? And so yeah, I mean, as a reliever, you're in there for the most part. You're in there for very short bursts, so it's really like a 3 to 5 hitter pocket that you're looking at. Sometimes even less if you're finishing an inning. But you're going over those guys in depth prior to the series, and then that way, as you're warming up, you're focused on getting warm and getting ready for the game. But then you're getting these small bits of information that can help you out there to go to.
No, thank you.
I did lose it.
Perfect. But yeah, you lost a little bit there at the end. But no, that's perfect. Now I was kind of going with like what you said. Like I just didn't know if your mind frame kind of changed a little bit at in playoffs, because there are tendencies, like you said. I mean, major tendencies from people.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering if it changed at all in the playoffs. That's all.
Yeah, I think, well, the preparation doesn't change. It becomes a big mental game. I mean, the other night, I think back to my outing in Cleveland, and it's just like I feel like the game
sucked.
on. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I
sucked.
feel like the game stuck on.
Dude.
Are we
And I
talking?
love you.
Are we talking about the one where you had to come in for the injury?
Yeah.
I mean,
There was one where it was really bad.
Dude.
So
no.
So yeah, I think about that outing and just like what transpired there, and I think the game kind of just like sped up a little bit on me, and it's like eventually I was able to get out of the inning without any further damage, and like somewhat keep the game intact. I think it was like maybe 3-1 when I left the game, but there was like just a couple like very like unconventional things like that. I think I really kind of spiraled for a couple guys where I look back at like the Hedges walk, and like Jimenez did exactly what I wanted him to do. Now, do I wish I was in a 2-strike count to be able to throw some more put away pitches? Yeah. With Lane Thomas on third, it's like you're chasing a strikeout or a ground ball, and we were infield in, so that gets through. But then it's just like losing Hedges and having first and second that turns into first and third with Rocchio and Quan up, who at the time were their two big hitters. You really had to kind of lock in and got out of it. But I do look back on that outing thinking like, man, if I could have controlled my breathing a little bit, could have controlled like some of the external factors that would have allowed me to kind of stay in the moment a little longer, that would have been nice, and something that needs to be improved on, because as the stage gets bigger, it's just you're going to need to be able to control emotions and control kind of staying in that frame of mind in that moment.
Honestly, you should have taken more freaking warm up pitches, because you rushed that weight. I mean, you didn't even have any tosses in the bullpen, did you?
I was up in the bullpen.
Oh, you were.
Yeah, so
I was gonna say, man, I was like, if you're coming in cold and I was like, I would have taken all the time in the world.
I was already up prior to heading in. I already had the catcher down. So when I went into the game, I took maybe a little more than your standard time. But, looking back, there's probably some things like I definitely should have just like taken the full time and taken my time even more. But just looking at some of the misses from the outing and kind of where things could have been better.
To be fair, you only gave up one. So,
yeah.
Like I'm in front of you.
Yeah,
Sam,
you're in front of me.
I'm going to go right here. What means more important to you? Warming up or breathing?
Like
in terms
warming
of
up,
getting yourself centered.
Yeah,
getting yourself centered.
I would say they kind of go like they go like hand in hand. I mean, you warm up to a certain degree, right? And then I feel like once you feel like usually the last few in the bullpen, like you're strictly chasing, just like letting it go, letting it eat, and then going to the mound. And once you take the mound out on the game mound, that's when you're kind of trying to find lanes and find like spots and command and stuff. But I think that time from the last warm-up pitch to when the batter steps in is when you really got to become more centered and really like focus on your breathing within that time frame.
What's the walkout song?
Before we go to Mike, what's that feeling coming out of that damn hatch when you come out of it?
One. That's a good one.
How do you feel?
Like, yeah, like when the gates open.
Yeah.
Well, Cleveland's such a long runway. Like the stairs in Cleveland are
in general
so far down. Like you're so far away from the game. No, there's like just like a building intensity. As you're running in and then you get your warm ups, and there's just like kind of this slow build as you enter the game of intensity. But it's definitely a rush. You get a rush getting called into the game.
All right, before we go to Mike again, what's your walk-up song? Go right now. What's your walk-up song? Go.
I
hope it's Wham. I hope it's
no. It was
Wham.
It's Remember When by Chevelle.
There you go.
Oh, okay. All right.
But you strike me, I mean, you were talking about how far that run is in. I mean, you strike me as a guy that brings the golf cart out and takes you to the mound.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You got long legs, dude. You got a long stride, motherfucker.
Yeah. I try to keep a brisk pace going in and use it as like my final warm up is like, but we have a guy, Tommy Canely, he like sprints to the mound.
I mean, if you're
Who's
not
that guy with the Phillies that used to sprint and slide in at
John Rocker?
John Rocker with the Phillies. They used to sprint and like slide into the mound. A Phillies guy did that, a big fat guy. He was kind of hefty. He was great. He was great.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was big, but he was great. And he would always run in there full speed, slide, and pop up. And
Tim, you should know. You're a Phillies guy.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. Did Heath Bell used to do it?
Is that it? Is it Heath
Bell? The Phillies,
he used to sprint in, but I don't think he slid.
Yeah,
he was older.
No, I
Heath Bell couldn't go. He couldn't get up.
But no, yeah, that was always.
That's what I was saying. I don't think he played with the Phillies, but I remember like Heath Bell would sprint in.
He was a Padre, right?
Yeah,
he was a Padre for most of his career.
Yeah.
Either way.
Now there was somebody from the Phillies
that feeling coming out of the actual like pen.
It was just
nuts.
And so my next question is going to be a two-part now because we brought this up. All right. So part 2 is not as important as part 1. That's why I'm going to say 2 first. Do you feel like when you come out in an extreme situation, does how you run out have anything to do with how you feel mentally when you're getting ready to like shut down somebody or do anything, like, or is it just like you're just calm and cool?
Yeah, I mean, there's some places where you're just like, just get me to the mound. Like just get me to the mound, let me warm up, and as the warm up goes on, like the more locked in you're kind of getting, the more narrow focused you're getting. Sometimes it's like, just get me out of the bullpen, get me to the mound, and let me kind of get settled out there. It's funny. It's like Cleveland, you have this long staircase in, so it's a longer walk. Camden Yards, you have the cobblestones, so it's like you kind of got to tiptoe and be careful with your cleats walking in there. But it's like, just get me to the warning track, get me to the mound, and let me finish my warm ups and kind of get settled in out there, and kind of that's when you're finishing your last warm up routine, and then you're also like getting settled on what the task is.
Okay. I mean, I got to give this guy a shout out right now that just joined on Instagram. Walter Bishop just joined on the Instagram feed. That's one for me and Tim. You guys.
Walter Bishop.
I had to give him a shout out. I just saw he joined him there.
Yeah. Mets fan. So
noted Mets fan.
Yeah.
So give us a little behind the scenes about how everything went after the ALCS. I know me and you talked about it off air a little bit in terms of logistically, it kind of sounds like a whirlwind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
All right.
That and then what you're
No. Let me ask you a direct question. True or false? Did you get drunk after you won the ALCS?
no,
Answer right now.
no.
Touche.
And I'll say why. It's because because I knew I had to drive home. Like we were leaving that night, so you celebrate, you pop bottles, and then it's like we flew home that night. So it was just like one of those things where you knew what was at the other end. And my family was there, so they got to come onto the field, and I got to see them afterwards, and we were on stage and everything. But then, like, you go in, you pop bottles, and like at 2 a.m. we had a bus. 2:30 in the morning we had a bus on the way to the airport. So that night we didn't get in. Like I didn't get into my hotel room till 6 a.m. Sunday morning after we won the CS. So like logistically, it just was smoother. Just Cleveland had a lot going on that weekend. You had our games, you had the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, and then you had the Browns playing home on Sunday. So it was just like
Sean Watson, yeah, that's great.
All this stuff happening in that city to where it was like with hotels and logistics, it was just easier for us to leave Saturday night, even though it was going to be a long night regardless.
Real question: would you ever touch the World Series trophy before you won it?
Have I ever?
Would you ever touch it before you won it?
No.
Thank you.
All right, I got a special guest joining us, fellas.
Yeah, here we go, baby.
Oh.
One of Tim might know this guy. I think he knows who he is. Let me bring him on.
Hey,
there he is.
What's up, boy?
There's the man.
Who's this Huckleberry?
I don't know who this guy is, but he just decided he wanted to pop in for a minute.
Yo, why are you in a suit?
Because it's a business trip, Tim.
Business trip.
You're on a business.
I got $5 that has a short sleeve button down underneath that.
Ah, you're wrong.
Malin, turn your phone sideways. and then shove it up your ass. Man, how nice is this for you, Malin, that you're a Yankees fan and now your college roommate gets to go to the World Series for your favorite team?
Oh my! I've had plenty of conversations about it, and really, it's almost like I just keep kind of telling them like not to get like emotional or anything, but like it's almost like I'm like reliving my childhood dream, essentially. Yeah. Like that's all I ever wanted to do was play for the Yankees, and now I just get to watch, one of my best friends do that. And
Walter Bishop's comment, I can't bring it up on the screen because it's on Instagram, but he goes, Malin broadcasting directly from his local homeless shelter.
It's an unfinished garage that I'm turning into a man cave.
Oh, shit.
Right now, you got to laugh, but I'm not going to do that.
Where are you? You look like you're in a garage.
He says unfinished, he's turning it into a man cave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you're at To Catch a Predator season 3. Tim, I'm going to go very, 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 very sentimental real quick. I just want you to know something real fast. The amount of impact you have had with your success has impressed everyone. So thank you very much.
You haven't impressed me. I think you kind of suck, to be honest.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's been called out.
Jesus.
If anybody's going to be hard on Tim, it's got to be me.
This is a show of honesty. I mean, I was breaking down my outing, and Brian's like, "Oh yeah, you sucked that day." I'm like, "Yeah, it wasn't my best."
Tim, you sucked that day, but I love you. And you got Brooks who throws room temperature. Like, what the hell are you doing here, man?
Probably below at this point. It'd be pretty chilly. It'd be pretty chilly in here at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim, I've been hard on Tim since he was a fucking freshman. So if anybody's going to be hard on him, it's going to be me.
Yeah, those Cleveland fans were pretty hard. They were pretty rough.
Tim, when do you guys leave? When do you guys leave?
Thank you, Joe.
Joe, you were the man. You were the man.
All right, Tim. Is that enough for you to sway you to throw it?
No.
All right. We need. He said that was too much money. Actually, we're gonna send that back to you.
Yeah, send it back.
Too much money. I mean, at least you get yourself. Everybody would know who Tim Mayza is for the rest of your life.
No, that's not gonna happen.
Why not? Dude? That'd be cool.
Oh,
It would not be cool.
That'd be real cool.
The opposite of cool.
Yeah. The opposite. Oh fuck, Malin, where are you? Are you at the homeless shelter? What state are you in?
No,
That's
Salvation.
the soup kitchen.
Oh, okay. Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
Back twice.
You say bark twice? Bark.
Bark twice. Bark twice.
You said back twice.
In my garage.
Sam,
Is it funny?
what's the lead up look like? I know what's tomorrow look like leading up into the first game of the series?
Yeah, we had workouts the past 2 days. I hadn't thrown in a while, so I threw a live today, 15 pitch live today to some of the hitters, and then another workout tomorrow. We'll fly to LA tomorrow afternoon, and then probably grab some dinner in LA. First time my wife and I will be, together without the boys in a while. So hopefully we get a few date nights either, tomorrow and Thursday.
Mama.
But
A little horizontal
Thursday,
dancing,
Tim's gonna be a little lighter on the mound.
a little hot yoga.
but Thursday
You have a third child?
we'll have a workout.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's intense, bro. That was intense.
Yeah, that was deep.
I'm sorry, guys.
I'm not even in the friend group like this, but that was good.
I'm tasty.
Yeah.
All right,
Thursday's a workout and a media day, and then Friday's game 1, and then 2 games there. We'll fly back on Sunday. What's going on?
No, we're all having fun, man. We're having fun.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Mike, go ahead, man.
No, I just question for Tim, obviously, because why not? Why don't I ask any of you degenerates a question? I want to ask Tim.
Speak for yourself.
So obviously, at least Brian and I's story, or you at least know Brian's story, we're college athletes, played baseball, not anywhere in the level that you did, and I just want to know,
Say it again. He stinks.
Yeah. I wish I could stink that bad. Yeah, that's pretty terrible. Stink. Hey, Tim, you got any of that stink you can rub off on me for a second? Yeah, thank you. But you can just shoot it to my email. So, but no, the real question I have, and it's kind of serious because it's a mental thing. And Brian, you would respect this. I think Brooks, you will respect this because being friends with Brian. Sorry, Moen, I don't know you, so I don't know if you would respect this or not. But
It's all right.
Matt, he played baseball with us in college as well.
I played.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, then you would
We're all
definitely
strong
respect.
personalities. All strong.
You would probably respect this then. What's the difference, Tim? If any, going from the ALCS to a World Series, what's your mindset? What are you thinking when you come into a game in a World Series? And I'm not trying to put extra pressure. I'm just saying, what do you think differently than an ALCS?
Or do you even know, Tim?
I would.
Do you even know?
I would. Again, this is I'm going through this for the first time. I just went through the CS for the first time, and it was in a small capacity over those 5 games where it was 2/3 of an inning, and we'll see what capacity the World Series has. But it's I don't know until I get out there. It's I can prepare all I want, and I know things that I can do to control my emotions and to slow the moment down. But again, like we're talking out here, but until I'm thrown into that situation and have to do it firsthand, that's going to be where the challenge comes in. Is all right, I can talk through these strategies, and I can talk through the game plan, and I can talk through, how I'm going to react on the mound and how, but I think for the most part, it's just like I'll try my best to, in use visualization and visualize, like use all my senses and visualize what I think that moment's going to be like going out there. And from the
You want to get
sounds,
naked right now? You can think about me.
yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about slowing the heartbeat down.
Yeah.
I said we were going to be informal today, so.
Yep.
Think about me, Brooks, and Moen, and have a good time.
Yeah.
Now,
And then throw a meatball to Aaron Judge.
Who? Me?
Not Aaron Judge. Shohei Ohtani.
he's already done that.
To Judge, I have.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Yeah. I got a jersey to prove it.
Thank you, Tim.
Oh, Mike, you don't know this.
Got a
He
name
gave
in the
up
record.
Aaron Judge's 60th home run or 61st home run.
61.
Yeah.
At least it's 61. It's an odd number. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Honestly, nobody gives a shit about 61. If you gave up 62, then it would have meant something because that was the record breaker. The time one, it's just sad.
Yeah. That's what I was saying, Tim. I'm on your side.
Yeah.
Tim, I'm not on your side. I'm on your side a little bit. I mean, I got a jersey.
Tim.
I got a jersey hanging up in the rafters back here.
Yeah.
I would
I
give up
appreciate
1
you
through
so much.
60,
I want the
62,
Dodgers to
Tim.
win.
So, just so you know, I would have gave up 1 through 62.
As soon as Tim signed with the Yankees, I was like, man, Tim, I could buy Blue Jay stuff with your name on it. I don't know if I can go buy Yankee stuff.
Tim, I got a jersey coming from you tomorrow. I'm going to put it on here. We're good.
Yo.
Don't you dare.
Giddy up.
Oh, I'll do it. I will 100% do it.
Dude, how is does the clubhouse just feel like they just I've never seen anything like Stanton is like a whole different player at this point. Like what?
Yeah.
Agreed.
He just like flipped a switch when the playoffs came. It seems like your clubhouse is actually and the locker room is just operating with so much confidence right now, which is which is pretty scary to be honest with you, because it kind of feels like they just feel like they can't lose, and it doesn't feel like they I don't know. Even if you guys get down or anything like that, it doesn't seem like you guys are panicking at all. So anything different since like towards the end of the regular season, something clicked during the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I think Stanton's always kind of had a reputation of performing in big moments and taking advantage of big opportunities. It's just like he truly is on a different level. Like he's like Babe Ruth kind of level. I think he was like close to, or if not, has passed Babe Ruth for most home runs per plate appearance in the playoffs, or something like that. I mean, it's been fun to watch, and you even look at just like the series that happened with Cleveland. I mean, I feel like our series with Cleveland and the series with the Mets and the Dodgers were just like polar opposites in terms of like what you felt during the games. And I know like playoff baseball is playoff baseball, but it just felt like those games between Dodgers and Mets were just kind of like big wins on both sides, trading just back and forth. And then our games were just like super close, like kind of like trading blows for a little bit with one team eventually taken over. But like you're talking anywhere from a 1 or like a tie game to a 3-run lead, which I don't think there's no lead that's safe in the playoffs, especially when you're talking these lineups where it's like a guy gets on in one swing of the bat could change the game and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like every time you guys get up in a situation, you guys are coming through right now. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts. Where did Weaver come from?
Yeah, I mean, he. I think I'm getting this story right, but I believe he signed so he came over here last year to the Yankees, finished the season with the Yankees as kind of like that long guy, bulk guy and thought he was going to get the opportunity to start coming into this year. Luis Heel has a phenomenal spring training, ends up earning the 5th spot in the rotation, bumps Weaver to the bullpen. Weaver kind of takes on that long man role in the bullpen, the long guy, and then just gradually throughout the course of the season just has like earned opportunity to leverage and hasn't and just kept gaining momentum and confidence and leverage situations to the point where now phenomenal job. But I think you definitely see the confidence that he's thrown with out on the mound and the conviction that he's throwing his pitches with. And I mean, that changeup is lethal. It is a very good swing and miss pitch right now.
Do they give you reprieve when you have like problems with like PitchCom?
Like, do they give us like grace? Like, yeah, that's fine. We'll just
Grace period. Yeah.
Yeah. It depends. Like if I finish warm-ups and all of a sudden I'm like, hey, I don't have a PitchCom, then we get balled because the clock's going to run out. But if as soon as I get in there, I'm like, hey, by the way, I don't have a PitchCom, they'll run one out. And as long as it's within a certain time, they'll give you some grace. But if
I can't hear you, Tim.
Cut out, Tim. Cut out. There you go.
Tim, your PitchCom cut out.
Yeah, your pitch. Perfect timing. Your pitch comp time.
Yeah, literally, when you were explaining the last part of that, we couldn't hear you.
oh, really?
Yeah, pitch comp.
Just like the last like 10 seconds.
Oh, well, I said, well, if I have the PitchCom and it goes out, then like they'll give us a new one and it's not a problem. Did it go out again?
No, you're fine.
So
and how many times are you guys cheating out there when you're like, oh, my pitch
what kind of trash can do you have? Trash can.
I can't hear. Tell me about
yeah, like a situation and you need some more time. You're like, PitchCom doesn't work. No,
I mean, there's nobody that can check that, so you can.
No,
I need a second. I need my PitchCom.
Yeah, no. There was one game where our PitchCom, nobody's PitchCom was working, that we had to go old school. Like we just went with the fingers again.
Well,
that's terrible.
If I can jump in, Brian, that's
Mike. Yeah, Mike. Go ahead.
If I can jump in, so that leads me to my one question. Well, I had two questions. Now that you said that, do you prefer the old school method or do you like PitchCom? That's the first question.
Good question.
I like PitchCom.
You do, and is there a specific reason why you like PitchCom more than?
I think it does. I think it does speed up the game a little bit because you're not putting down 4 or 5 signs. I think it somewhat alleviates some of the cheating that was happening on the bases.
Cheating.
I'm not going to say. I'm not. I almost said it. I'm not going to say
Cheating.
it. Not here. Not now. Not going to say it.
Who's cheating?
With some of the pitches, so I think it did cancel some of that out. Now there's still stuff going on. You're still getting like people get to second and they relay, they'll relay location from second base.
Yeah,
and you just see that a lot.
But do you are in your mind pitching? Do you see a lot less of the? And I'm saying cheating, but you know.
Yeah, you see a lot
less of the cheating aspect since then.
Yeah. You see that the game has definitely sped up. I don't think you could do the pitch clock without PitchCom. I don't think it would be as smooth, and I don't think the game would flow as well. So I think PitchCom does help keep pitch clock in play and the pace of game in play.
And I have one more question. Sorry, Brian. Okay.
You're fine.
Go ahead, Brooks. Brooks, give what you got out.
He was just saying rate of play.
Okay. Yeah, we do. Agreed. Yeah. The only thing is, have you looked at any of the? And I only saw it this morning, so I don't know if it's true. But have you looked at the stats for the Yankees, Dodgers, the last 60 games?
No.
From what I looked at, I'm not saying it's fact, but from what I looked at, dead even.
30 and 30. Yeah.
30-30.
It's all right. So
Really?
Brooks, you got that?
Holy shit.
Yeah, and
Dead
it's
even.
It's
Dead
even.
even.
It's even crazier than that. They break it down by like after 2 games, after 4 games, after 6 games. It's
10
even,
games, 12
even-
games,
even the
18
entire way.
games. Yeah. So
It's pretty
sorry,
crazy.
Tim, put you on this kind of pedestal,
Yeah.
but what do you think about that? Do you think that has any effect, or do you think it's a whole new series? I mean, to my mind, it's a new series.
Yeah, it's a new series. There is history that comes into play. I think some of that is like coincidence, like over 60 games they're even 30-30. I think it just like speaks to the state of both franchises. Like you're talking about 2 really good franchises who are, always kind of in the mix and always, kind of have that tradition of winning ways. So the fact that they're even, I think, speaks more to just the longevity of success between the 2 clubs as opposed to anything else. And yeah, I mean, we're in a 7-game series, and it's at this point now a sprint to win 4 games. Like who's going to do it?
And did they tell you who our predictions were before you got on there?
No.
No, we don't do that. We don't do that.
Oh, okay.
But
All right.
if you dogpile, how drunk will you get? And if you already told your wife?
I think my wife knows, what the extent of the celebration will be if we pull this out.
Well, actually, this is a good question. Will your wife be there?
She'll be at every game. She is in a wedding in San Diego Sunday.
All right, let's put that aside. Will your wife be there?
At the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you guys win.
Yeah, she'll be at every game.
Damn well better be there, Dan.
She'll be at every game.
Come on. I'll be there if I need to.
Since this homeless guy is hanging out, you got a question over there?
Who, the homeless guy?
Yeah.
Who, Moen?
I mean,
with the 3330.
I think he has the best questions.
I'll be there.
will you
He
actually?
moves the bat.
Will you actually be there?
Yeah, I'll be there for 4.
Mountain's going to game 4.
All right. Well, shit, Tim. I mean, I might need a ticket then.
Go ahead.
Damn it, Tim.
I'm not rooting for you, but damn it,
I'm not rooting for you, Tim, but if you win it, I'll be happy for you.
I'm rooting for you.
Thanks.
Real quick, Tim. You know what shirt I was trying to find before I got on here? I have your Upper Perk Yeoman.
My high school shirt.
Yeah, I was trying to find it, but it's lost.
Gone forever.
It's lost.
Here it is.
Gone forever.
Hey, I was looking for beer to like have. I was trying to party when I got on here.
You really blew that one.
Yeah,
No shit.
Some man cave with no beer.
it's
This
coming
guy
around.
stinks.
You look like you're in a fucking underground cave. Like you're in a.
Looks like he's about to go play poker.
What?
Is it 9/11 just
Yeah,
right now?
You're about to go play poker.
Hey, fun fact of the day, I live basically on top of the one of the like underground pentagons.
What?
My house.
You're up there in you're up there in bumfuck.
Site R. I live right on top of Site R, so basically there's like a whole city underneath me right now.
Get a
Tell us
beer.
about it. Why don't you start digging down in there and let us know.
Nah, that's too much asbestos.
Yeah, fair. Fair point.
Call Peter Angelos.
Fair point. Tim, do you have any questions for the homeless man?
Yeah.
I had an interview with the Lancaster newspaper today, and the first thing he says is like, "Hey, we're going to talk about the Hound Dogs a little bit." And I'm like, this Malin guy just had an interview.
Tim, do you understand? Do you understand that I'm everywhere?
I'm like, this Malin guy just did an interview and brought up the Hound Dogs.
Do you understand that I'm everywhere and I'm always first Asian waiting?
Yeah. He's a homeless guy. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
He's always out there.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Thank you.
Those guys everywhere.
What question for me?
Who interviewed you from Lancaster?
I have his name. Hold on.
I mean, no, not the name, but like
Jebediah.
It was like the
Lancaster
Lancaster
newspaper.
nursepaper.
Oh, I didn't know if it was like the news channel there or something.
Yeah, Lancaster
Some shaky
newspaper
maple smorgasbord.
is like doing an
Yeah.
article, and he gets on the phone. He's like, "Hey Tim, this is so and so." He goes,
Jedediah.
"Yeah, so we're gonna talk a little bit about the Hound Dogs." I'm like, "What is happening?" I said, "Who'd you get to first?"
Who was it? It was
Yeah.
Was it Sunkel?
That's awesome,
It was
dude.
Sunkel, wasn't it?
No.
Sunkel has a call. Sunkel's got a call tomorrow.
I said it. It was indeed the homeless man.
Walter Bishop said the
Dude.
Yamish Gazette.
Dude, Mo, I gotta talk to you. What's the weight of that? What's the weight of that? Come on.
33-30. No.
30. Boom!
Yeah.
Hit her on the head.
Yeah, you did.
30.
Well, now
Marucci.
you just showed that you're a. No, man. Tim, what do we need to ask you? I mean, we already know that you're having another child now in LA with your date nights. Gonna be a little lighter out there, light on your feet.
Adult diaper. Are you wearing max pad with wings or without wings? I don't know.
I want to. Tim, question. I want to know how your velo increased by like
No.
an hour.
We're
And
not doing that. John,
like-
we're not doing that.
John, we're not doing that shit.
dude, that was
We're all
John
having
wants,
fun.
John wants a little bit more constructive conversation.
John.
Okay, fine.
geez,
Tim,
John.
how do you like your Tinker toys
My what?
What?
You're what?
or building blocks?
Oh.
What building?
Tim, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What's your throwing program look like? Trying to learn how to throw like you. Making a comeback here soon. So me, Jesse, Mike, Brian, we're all trying to make a little comeback. Give me your arm care and your
Is this the constructive conversation we're
your
gonna have?
long toss regiment, please.
Absolutely not. No.
No,
He asked for it.
I'll have one.
Yeah, Mike has a serious one.
All right.
No,
Go ahead.
I mean, if y'all are good, I do have one serious question. Sorry.
Sure.
No, you ask as many as you want because we're
Tim,
not going to be ones.
Pig Town, my man. Pig Town,
Yeah.
my man.
I'm trying. Tim, honestly, what I have to ask is, so I am not on your level at all. Never was. I couldn't hit against you. I would strike out every time. But I know you know who you're going up against in the World Series. Does your mindset change day to day, or is it you have a certain attack period that? And I don't want in-depth reasons because I don't want to ruin your what you're going with. But do you have do you change your stuff up day to day, or is it series to series kind of thing?
I mean, when you're talking series of like this length, where it's 5 and 7 games, I think you're going through the first couple of games, and you're seeing what they're doing. You're trying to get a feel out. You're like feeling them out a little bit for what they're doing, what their game plan is, and then I think by games like 3 and 4, you may start to adjust. Like, hey, this guy's doing this that he wasn't doing throughout the year, but he's doing it a little bit more now. Whether it's like, he was really pull happy, now he's just fine going the other way and taking his knock. So like you change up your attack based off of as the series progresses and what guys are essentially doing that maybe was against the game plan or wasn't in the game plan. So you kind of adjust day to day, but usually you give it, a game and see what's happening, maybe 2 games and see what's happening. Cause over the course of the year, we have all the data and all the analytics and everything to make a scouting report. So then, you're entering the kind of the series knowing those things. And it's like, well, after 2 games, he's doing more of this in the playoffs than he did all year. So then you start to kind of adjust your game plan off of what they're showing you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Brooks steps away.
Answer.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. A phenomenal answer. And while it was a little longer, it's awesome because it really brought a lot of knowledge. One thing I'm going to ask you right now is, do you actually feel like you have more nerves going into this than you did before the World Series?
Like, do I have more nerves sitting here now as opposed to what I did like a week ago?
Yes.
Yeah, I think as it gets closer, it's starting to build. Like, nerves are starting to build. I think once all the hoopla is done and you kind of just like settle in and play baseball, I'm sure things will take over and you'll get into the flow of the game, and that'll be refreshing. It's like we have 4 or 5 days of downtime before the World Series starts, and it's just like you can feel this build of, leading into game 1. But I don't know, like this year has been wild. Like whenever
can you even think about it? You just said World Series.
Yeah,
and
like
you haven't. Has it hit you yet?
No, because whenever I get the time to sit down, you're muted, Brooks. You're muted.
It's nothing like the Black and Gold World Series, because if it was, we all know the outcome of that. So get your mindset fucking right.
Yeah. But when I get to like finally sit down and like reflect, it's like I reflect a little bit right now just because we're heading into the World Series and there's only 2 teams remaining. But like the roller coaster of emotions that I've had throughout this year, and it's like this year has taken me to the bottom and the lowest of lows, where I got released by the Blue Jays and I was in limbo for 7 to 10 days. And I was talking to you guys from the stands in Scranton, like, yeah, I just signed a minor league deal with the Yankees. I'm going to pitch here in Scranton and see what's next. And now it's like, now I'm part of this journey and part of this team and going to the World Series. It's like baseball's unique and incredible in that way, where, I look at myself and even like a bigger story is like Tim Hill. Tim Hill gets DFA'd by the White Sox, and he gets picked up by the Yankees and has a phenomenal rest of the year. And he's been great for us in the postseason and is like a true part of why we're going to the World Series. It's like the White Sox didn't want this guy, and now he's pitching. He's going to pitch in the World Series for the Yankees and potentially sign a really good deal next year somewhere else, and it's or with the Yankees. You don't know, but it's like the 6-month season. Like I go on and on. It's just like what I have felt from start to finish has been incredible.
Before anyone says anything, you ever think how much this means to your family?
I get to experience, my wife tells me all the time to experience it through my 3-year-old's eyes. Like he loves the game. He is obsessed with the game. He shows up to our games at home in full pinstripes. He's got the 58 jersey with the pants. He pulls the pants up. It's like he's in full gear, and he'll like clap. Like he's like truly into the game. And it's like just like to him, it's just another game. Like he just loves the game at its simplest form. He loves the game. Doesn't care if it's a World Series. Doesn't care if it's in the backyard. It's just like he loves the game. And, I called them today and FaceTimed them today, and he's watching every recap of every playoff game, and it's just running all day. It's like, I've never seen anything like it. He's just like obsessed.
All right. We're going to stay on here for a little bit. I gotta let Mike and the homeless guy go here for a second.
Yeah, I got to roll too, baby. I got to roll.
I got 2 other guys here showing up from another local show.
We got Ron Rip coming on.
Yeah, we got Rip coming on, and we got Zach Bollinger coming on here as well. So,
hey, Mike, hang on.
Stick around.
Tim, you're the man. Do a great job, dude.
Thanks.
You're fucking awesome.
Man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Tim.
You got
is
it.
awesome.
Moen.
Awesome.
Keep swinging the stick, baby.
So you guys know, don't go anywhere. We're staying right on here. We're gonna stay live. We're just gonna let a couple of these guys go and bring in some new guys. So I appreciate you guys coming in.
Thank you very much, guys, for letting me on.
All right.
Tim, thank you very much.
Yep.
Yeah, man. See you, Mike.
Later. Bye.
Get out of here, Malin.
Yeah, you're amazing.
Brian, you staying around for a little bit?
I'm staying around for a while.
Well, I heard you were a 3-year-old. Oh, in between, I actually do want to bring this. This is a good question from Christian King, one of Mike's nephew, actually.
Yeah.
He had a question for Tim. Tim, do you have any advice that you would impart onto other athletes in general trying to reach their highest potential in their respective sports? So, for a little background, Christian is a Paralympic athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Just competed in the Paralympics.
Wow. That's phenomenal. Yeah. Oh man. There's just been like I've absorbed so much information from like, like there's a lot of phenomenal coaches and some people are able to speak more of your language and you'll absorb more information from them. I just think like you have to accept coaching and accept criticism and accept like people telling you what you can do to get better and to your best. Just absorb that information, try to make adjustments and become the best like overall athlete. I feel like just like over the years you like I've kind of become a sponge where it's like, all right, what's next? Like, what can I do to get better next? And I'm constantly like the finish line always moves. It's like, well, I could do this better. All right, next time I could do this better. So it's like, it's truly a game of adjustments and just like accepting coaching, accepting criticism and continuing to strive to get better and improve at whatever sport that is through just like repetition.
Yeah, and to put things into perspective a little bit, when Tim came into Millersville as a freshman, Tim was throwing all of like 80, 82 miles an hour.
Yeah, I got recruited. I was like 81, 84 out of high school. So
Brooks, put Mike back in, please.
You guys.
Yep.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah. So no, I was like 81, 84, and I felt like I wasn't like this great athlete, but I played multiple sports through high school and felt like I was a pretty good athlete. And but no, just through Millersville and like through just like accepting criticism, watching how guys go about their business who were seniors on the staff and juniors on the staff, and you take bits and pieces from everybody, every coach, every person. You're just like, all right, what makes them good? Why are they good? And just kind of like taking a little bit here, a little bit there, and eventually like you implement into your plan and your program and see what works. And it takes a lot of trial and error, but eventually you find a routine and a rhythm and a program that works for you and gets the most out of you.
Tim, would you rather be Greg Maddux or Randy Johnson?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That is good. I
don't even know how I would answer that.
Greg Maddux.
Like my gut is saying Randy Johnson.
Nice.
My gut.
Yeah.
I'm
You?
disagreeing.
You?
I'm disagreeing. I'm going Greg Maddux.
Okay.
I want to be able to dot it. I want to be able to dot everywhere.
Yeah.
Which one do you think plays better in today's game?
Today's game, Randy Johnson.
Yeah, because that's kind of like the lens I was looking through was like, okay, if I'm taking one of them and I want to be one of them today, it's probably Randy Johnson.
Yeah, and Mike, not to take away from you because I know you raised your hand, but right now the game speaks to velo spin rate. That's all it's about. It's all it's about.
Yep.
But I think the art of pitching was so doctored by the professor in Greg Maddux. Yeah. And anyone can shit on me for that all day.
No.
He can throw 92 and still make you look foolish.
Yeah, Mike,
Well, I just don't think anybody's going to shit on you for that. I mean, the professor was the professor. That's why he's called that. I had a question actually for Tim. So do you think that, and I'm sorry, I don't know if you went to college. I wish I did because I didn't do my research and that's terrible. But do you think that velo helped you more or off speed helped you more? Because I've seen your off speed and I've seen your velo and obviously watching games. So I'm saying, what do you think like you attribute to your success?
Probably velo personally has probably helped me more. I've always been kind of a fastball dominant pitcher. Even in college, I relied on my fastball a lot. Continue to rely on my fastball a lot. So I feel like in areas where I haven't had great games, there's been a correlation with some velo, probably in some of that. And so, I would attribute a lot of the success to the velo just because of how fastball dominant I am. Now today's velo is a different animal when you're talking the amount of guys who are 96 to 100. So I've had to rely on more movement, and that's where the sinker and the two seam came to play. Is like, okay, what has the most velo with the most movement? And I feel like that's kind of what you're chasing when attacking hitters is a ball that moves more at a higher rate of velocity. But yeah, my off speed stuff is I'm a bit of a tinkerer, so I'm always tinkering with sliders and cutters and those types of things to try and get the most out of that off speed pairing with the fastball.
So and I'm sorry if I'm jumping ahead, but no, I thought your velo is your strong point. So I kind of underplayed that a little bit and made it seem like I didn't know what was going on. But I feel like your velo is your thing. And I was just kind of asking just to confirm.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like I would love to add velo. I would love if I was capable of adding velo and being 96, 98. However, it's just like to some degree, you got to accept, what the best version of you is and going from there. And okay, well, if I'm going to be the 92 to 94 guy, and occasionally get to a 5 or a 6, okay, how do I attack hitters best? And what is the best way to go about that? Because the game has evolved. Velo has continued to rise, and I think hitters should be credited to their ability to adapt to the rising velos as well.
No, and I wasn't taking a shot at velo. I'm saying velo. I think the way you use your velo with your off speed, which obviously you said you're working on, which I think is phenomenal. But the velo that you're working on, not velo, the off speed stuff that you're working on, I think you're doing a really good job with it, man. Obviously, because look where you are. But no, I wasn't.
I understand. Yeah, completely.
And we got so we got one.
You feel like you go ahead.
We got somebody join the show here. Hopefully he's got enough juice on his phone. I'm gonna have to swap him out with you, Mike.
Okay.
So swapping him out, and we're gonna bring in Zach Bollinger from the Ryan.
Mike, I love you. Mike, I love you.
What's up, guys?
All right.
How's it going? Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man. Hey,
hey,
Tim, real quick. I know Zach just joined. Do you feel like you're more of a pitcher or a thrower?
I think you stink either way, but
yeah, just brutal at both.
That's not a shot at you. I mean,
no, yeah, I would say throw. I mean, there is thought behind it, but I mean, we just talked about Maddox. I'm not Maddox, I'm not to that degree. I mean, I definitely think I consider myself more of a thrower, and the catcher is set up to an area and not a spot is kind of the way I go about catcher setups. Like he's flashing his glove as a reference point to an area that he wants it to go or he wants it to finish. And then, I'm just like letting it eat at that spot. So
Do you feel like you hit your spots on a regular basis or no? Yeah, once again, not a shot at you. Obviously, I can already tell your answer right there.
Yeah. So like the catcher for me, the catcher sets up to where he wants the pitch to start for me. Not necessarily where he wants to finish, but like he's like, hey, start it here and let it run. Or for sliders, it's like start here and let it work the other way. So there's that. Now, again, we're talking about a different game where it's like we were just talking about velo and how effective velo is, and the game has now evolved into your best stuff in the zone regardless of kind of location. Now the less velo you have, probably the better at locating you have to be. The more velo you have, the more area for miss you can work with to beat guys, and the guys who have both velo and command are your aces and your elite pitchers.
What would you rather be, velo guy or a control guy?
What's the velo on the control guy?
Let's say 91.
I'd rather be a velo guy.
All right, fair enough.
Oh, we got another guy.
Zach.
We got another guy.
Zach.
We'll let Zach.
No.
We'll let Zach.
No, Zach's got to get in here, man. Zach's got to talk shit to. Zach hates the Yankees, so we already got to talk shit to
Tim, I'm sorry. Tim, the day you got picked up, no offense, by the Yankees was one of the worst days. I was like, no. I was like, so happy for you. Selfishly, I was like, anywhere else. But so Tim, first off, I gotta ask, how does it feel popping champagne after like advancing in the playoffs? Like, does that feeling ever get old?
No, never. And it's like, it's just like, it's a rave, it's a party, and you're just like, it's coming from all sides,
It escalates quick.
Yeah, it escalates. It goes like, yeah.
You during the I guess party interviews, you can tell like 15 minutes in they start getting a little off the tracks. Like it is a quick escalation of how it's with all the champagne beer. It goes fast.
All the champagne.
Assuming it was ever on the tracks.
Lack of like food because you just got off the field, so you haven't even ate yet. So it's just like you're just it escalates, and there's just it's fun. It's never old. It like you could go all night because they put up so much stuff to like protect the clubhouse that you just go nuts. Like it's like, all right, they're gonna clean it up anyway. You don't even have to worry about cleaning up. I think that's the most fun part. Is like you just constantly are throwing bottles around and passing bottles. Yeah.
So speaking about kind of going back into the playoffs towards the beginning, there's always this talk recently of teams struggling with the bye. And, that first round bye, some teams, it just feels like teams, they hit a rut, it takes them a minute. What was kind of your guys' mindset, or what did you guys do during that week to kind of stay sharp and kind of make sure just as little as possible that it affected you?
Yeah, we had lives. So we had basically a day off and then a day of workouts and then 2 days of lives where everybody threw.
What does lives mean?
Like a simulated game. Like we played inter squads. Yeah, we played inter squads. And there's been a group of, I would say, 6 to 8 guys who are in like stay ready camp, it's called, and they come work out at the field and throw bullpens, and they throw to hitters sometimes, and they're in like this group of guys who it's just like you're there to stay ready in case injuries happen or you need to be added to the roster.
Sure.
But yeah, we had 2 days of inter squads and then another day of workouts leading into the first series. Because we didn't play until it might have been Friday.
Yeah.
Because we had a weird schedule where it was like,
no, I think
Saturday
Saturday was the first game of the
Yeah, Saturday. So we played Saturday, off Sunday, Monday, off Tuesday.
Yes.
So that was the thought behind. I believe that's the thought behind them only carrying 11 pitchers for the DS, was because we had 3 off days in those 5 days where you could run out your leverage guys all 5 and they'd be fine, as opposed to having to play the 2 in a row and then the 3 in a row. And so we carried 11 pitchers, but the stay ready and the inner squads, like, you're trying to simulate a game as much as you can, but it's hard to simulate like that playoff intensity with the fans. But you're really trying to get work in. Hitters are trying to see timing and like see velo, because having that stretch off where you're not seeing velo, then all of a sudden you're in a playoff game where guys' velos tend to creep up, is difficult. But yeah, I think we came out of the chute like first and second, nobody out right off the gate in game 1, and you're like, okay, here we go. But yeah, we've been.
Question about inter squads.
Yeah.
And Joe asked this in the comments, so I'm not going to bring it up, but he took the words out of my mouth. During the inter squad, how many dingers did you give up to Judge? And before you answer that, I got to bring on another guy. Ryan Rifkin? Rifkin? Oh, Ripken. Oh, got it.
There
Good
he
evening,
is.
Tim.
There he is.
Hey, Tim.
Bearded
Hey.
Ripken.
I didn't give up any homers. No.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
Dude, what is going on with the beard?
What is going
What's
on
wrong
with
with
your beard?
I'm getting old.
I'm just letting it
I'm from
ride a
Douglas,
little
dude.
bit. You know what? Consider it a postseason beard. Consider it for the rest of the
Postseason.
Yeah, for just baseball postseason. So we'll see what happens here. And no, I need to shave it off. I'll be honest here. If I'm being fully transparent, Tim, Jamie, not the biggest fan of it. Last time I had this beard like this was maybe like 2019. Started off hitting really well, then had an oblique injury, and then proceeded to hit 140 over the next 6 weeks. So the beard never returned.
Yeah.
You know?
Lord
So-
have mercy.
Hey, but good to see you, Tim. Congrats, World Series. You know,
Thanks.
Dude,
go Dodgers. No. In all seriousness, people hate this for me. I thought it was awesome. I'm really happy for you. And I saw you guys mention you relish every moment you win because it's so damn hard. And it's what I love for you, Tim, is 3 months ago, last time I talked to you, deadline. You're going up and down between shuffling from a different team, AAA with the Yanks and Scranton. And now here you are having a chance to get a World Series ring. That's just an amazing it's an amazing thing overall. So I'm happy for you because in the blink of an eye, man. But hey, congrats on the no home runs to Judge too in the in the inter squads.
Yeah.
I think we all need to take a step back and just say hi real quick.
You want to say hi, Banks?
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
You want to come say hi to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Good job.
Hi.
Good job, buddy. Can we let Mr. Ryan ask a question? Okay.
I don't know. I love that action. I'll be honest. And what did I miss so far? I mean, you guys talked Cleveland, talked postseason.
Well, we talked about hairlines. We talked about hairlines for a while. That's obviously not going to work out for you. But,
Tim and I are going to mimic it pretty quickly. But hey, Tim, I mean, maybe it wasn't talked, but just from this is the baseball enthusiast in me, and I live for these types of moments. Those 3 games in Cleveland arguably were 3 of the best postseason games, period. Not for you as a player, probably very stressful, but in general, the clutch hitting, the 2-strike hits, the 2-strike home runs, and then Juan Soto's at bat. I broke down, and Juan and I think I told you, who's my teammate in the minors, what we've talked to other guys like with the Ravens when Derrick Henry has been going off recently. Mm-hmm. When Soto was battling in the 10th, can you walk me through what was going through your mind?
Yeah. So he's going through it in the 10th, and Gaddis, arguably, is an elite reliever and had a phenomenal year for them at the back end of that bullpen, setting up Class A for the most part, and then it's just like he's battling him, and he's not giving any fastballs, and you're just like, is he gonna do it? Like, he probably shouldn't. Like, is he just gonna kind of like expand with breaking stuff or his changeup? And he keeps fouling it off, and it's what's fascinating. There's just like different levels to this game, and Juan Soto is just in a whole nother planet than anybody when it comes to just like being able to battle and understand what he's trying to do and wait out pitches. And that moment and that at bat is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. Just between the clutch moment, waiting out and battling that guy, and then finally getting your pitch and not missing it. You look at that pitch and you look at the pitch that Tanner Bybee threw Stanton, and it's like they were both kind of expected to be these chase pitches just to get him off a little bit and just miss in the zone just enough to be damaged and to be homers. But Soto, that at bat in that moment for him was incredible. The game 3 that we had was incredible when it was back-to-back homers off Class A, and then they're battling back, and you felt game 3, you felt the whole stadium just silence when back-to-back homers are hit, and you're like, wow, here we go. And then kind of Noel, and by the way, but Big Christmas is one of the best nicknames I've ever heard.
Big Chris is amazing.
Yeah, incredible. And with him and Fry.
Do you think velo or changing levels in the strike zone is more important?
Like difference in velo?
Yeah, difference in velo or changing eye level.
Probably difference in velo. I mean, if you could do both, that's phenomenal. Like, you see a lot of guys with success on 4-seams up, down, and you're kind of doing those things, or 4-seam up and curveball, sinker, slider, kind of same thing. But yeah, I mean, and that's what we're talking about. In the playoffs, like, our leverage guys are seeing the same guys for 5 games. It's like eventually, they know what you're bringing to the table, and they know kind of what your out pitch is, and at times you got to be just a little creative in how you go about these guys and adjusting. Maybe it's throwing one more fastball before you go to a changeup, or maybe it's throwing one more changeup before you change eye levels to a heater. Just kind of being unpredictable. But yeah, those games in Cleveland were stressful. They were exciting, and I think outside of being a player, you look back at those games, and it was phenomenal baseball, and it's like playoff baseball at its best.
Yeah, Tim, and you know what? For everyone out there kind of listening, and all this doesn't happen in the 10th inning in the series clincher if there is an error committed either. Juan Soto doesn't get the chance, so errors are magnified in the postseason, especially. Leaving mistake pitches are magnified. But I will say one of the craziest things, because I did a breakdown of it, Tim, in that game 3, every home run was with 2 outs, and only one of them was without 2 strikes.
Yeah.
So talk about the moment, and obviously then Giancarlo Stanton, dude, that he is. I know Aaron Judge is a massive individual. I think people forget that man was the definition of built in a lab before Judge, and what he's been doing has been sensational. Hey, one thing I want to focus on, Tim, yours with Brian. Answer your question on like the change in eye levels. I think it really just dictates on who you are. Like Tim being funky as hell over there. Like, I would hate anything that he did because I'm a lefty. And I'd go, damn, you know what? Tim looks like he's throwing it behind my damn head.
Yeah, he's throwing it other side of the plate. Yeah.
So in that case, I think it really just depends on what your strength is and what you have. Like, so Class A, you can get away with velo high or low if you locate pretty well. You know what I mean? But for Tim, it's like for you got the deception that plays off of it. If you do what you're supposed to do, you can set somebody else up. But yeah, velo, I guess, would always play. You know, Tim, when you threw harder, you always felt more confident. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you could throw anything harder with the same amount of movement, you're probably going to. I mean, you're talking about timing. Like anything harder with the same amount of movement, the batter just has less time to react to. So,
what would be the pitch you would throw that you can't throw right now?
Right now, some form of changeup or a splitter, something to combat righties where it's like it's not a sinker, so they something that I can throw that's like soft that goes strike the ball for swing and miss, that kind of plays away from the right-handed hitter.
Well,
I mean, you're a lefty specialist anyway.
Yeah, but three batter rule, man. Gotta there's usually a righty in between there. You got to figure them out.
Yeah, how we? I mean, I know we're not going to give any secrets away here, but we losing sleep at night knowing that you're going to have Ohtani dialed up for you out of the bullpen at some point in a big moment, probably.
I love Asians.
I'm not losing sleep over it.
You are.
I'm not having nightmares about Ohtani, right?
You going to the gambling site with him?
Yeah, right.
Hey, Tim, I saw a question in here, but it's I kind of want to bring this up because about relievers. I think I told you of all the landing spots you could have been. Was going to New York, because going through the systems when I had to play them with the Orioles farm system, I mean, shirts and pants, man. It just felt like their group kind of got the best out of their arms, and there'd be these guys coming out of nowhere. And I think I've seen little Gregorius is talking about a guy like Luke Weaver, who was cast away, right?
Yeah.
And then he comes to New York, finds himself. Cousins was electric the other night here. And they made a huge impact. Could you then speak on at least what the Yankees are trying to do? Is it trying to necessarily pitch off of your strength, or just trying to establish what you need to fix as like a weakness, or adding something on, right? Because it's not just the Yankees that do this, but the Yankees have done this well over the last, years that I can remember.
Yeah. I think they do a great job of like identifying players who maybe haven't used their arsenal to the best of their abilities. You look at Weaver. I think the changeup and the four seam usage have gone up. They tinkered with his grip in spring, and he's getting a lot more vert on his four seam than he did before. The changeup has been a really good pitch for him, and I think like they got him to use that a little more. You look at Cousins. Cousins has really good stuff with sinker slider. I mean that's
nasty.
Yeah. So I think for him, you're just like, yeah, if we could get him, just to pair his pitches well. Not that he doesn't. I didn't know Jake Cousins until 2 months ago. I met him, so I don't know the pitcher he was when he was in Milwaukee, or even earlier in the year when he was in AAA before he came up. Like I've only seen him here, but I mean, really good two-seam fastball that runs back, plays off his slider really well. His slider, I mean, I think he could throw that thing in the zone 3 times and might get 3 swing and misses. It's just like moves that much. And I think they do that. They obviously, I feel like, are very good with pitch usage and identifying what your strength is and being able to throw that, a decent percentage of the time and what to pair it with. I think that's kind of where their expertise lies, is identifying guys who just haven't used arsenals to the best of their abilities to get outs. I think for me, it was more of a mechanical issue where I went to the lab. They addressed some mechanical things that I had going wrong that may have led to a little decrease in velo, and wanted to see if I'd be able to get back on track and see the velo rise. And fortunately, it's been working out. I think they have great coaches everywhere, I think, is really kind of what it comes down to. And I think there's transparency everywhere. And, you look at that, and and that's kind of from my perspective in here, what makes them good is just the people you're surrounded by, kind of the sounding boards you have, and the knowledge that they have.
2 questions. One for Ryan and for Zach, and Tim cannot answer. What are your thoughts on the World Series? And then second, after they answer, Tim, do you have a preference on catcher and why? Not with the Yankees, but like a certain setup.
Thoughts on the? I mean, if we want to talk about the top most talented teams throughout the season and kind of before the season, if you would have picked 2 teams, I feel like the majority of baseball media and stuff were like 2 teams that you felt like were destined to meet in the World Series. I feel like it was Dodgers, Yankees. It's also, the argument all years was the whole, like, what was more impressive, what Judge was doing, what Ohtani's doing, stuff like that. They meet in the World Series. I just feel like there's so many storylines that it wouldn't surprise me. And actually, we talked about this yesterday on the pod. I was like, it wouldn't surprise me if this goes 6 or 7 if they announced this was one of the most watched World Series of all time. I just feel like it has, with that, both massive markets, both of the teams are star-studded from top to bottom. It just feels like both are playing incredible baseball. It's 2 quote-unquote juggernauts kind of meeting at the same time, where, like, if you're a true baseball fan that wants to see the best of the best going at it, like, this is the series. It's all-star players going against each other. As I said yesterday, no offense to last year, but last year, like, Diamondbacks, Rangers, it kind of fell off at the end when the Rangers were just so much better. It was just like they just couldn't be stopped. This year, it feels like it's like got that feeling of a classic World Series type.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, overall, to finish Zach's point there, it felt like last year the championship series in the National League and American League was the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Because you saw 2 series go to the end. You saw unbelievable back and forth play between the Rangers and the Astros, where no team could win at home. And whammy, the Rangers on the road in Game 7 dethroned Houston there in Houston. It was incredible. And then on the other side, the Diamondbacks go to Philly and take the do or die game 6 and 7 to go to the World Series, and you're sitting there going, man, can this get better? And unfortunately, the answer was no, except Game 1 of the World Series was electric. Corey Seager's big ball there, Garcia being the hero, but the rest of the way, if you were a fan of the Rangers, it was the best one. This year, though, has probably everything that you would hope for. It's got star power. It has big markets. It has guys that have shown up in the postseason, and then there are guys that are sprinkled in there that can make an impact that you aren't thinking about. Kike Hernandez for the Dodgers only was playing because of injuries, getting more at bats, and then he was a turning point for this team in that series against the Mets. And then on the other side for the Yanks, the resurgence of Stanton has been unbelievable. I just thought the coolest thing, and Tim, maybe you could touch on that, like Mark Leiter Jr. being added to the roster and like, hey, welcome to the biggest moments of the season here. Season's on the line for us. I mean, they're not down in the series, but you know what I mean? I think this has all the makings to be the dramatic, theatrical, romantic series that people want baseball to be. I really do.
I'm glad he said something like that before Tim even comments. I said baseball is a very regional sport. Like, everyone loves their home team. This is the national sport right now in terms of the Dodgers versus the Yankees. You get West Coast, East Coast.
I mean, this is not even national, guys. I mean, this is global at this point with all the eyes you're going to see from Asia as well. Especially with like Jeff Baskin said the other day, we're kind of in the golden age of Japan baseball right now. We're gonna see another guy coming in next year throwing 100 miles an hour, who's probably a better pitcher than Shohei as well. So I mean, not only what we're seeing just nationally here, this is going to be huge for baseball globally.
Yeah, I mean, this is the part too. The one thing that people keep talking about is that baseball's been diminishing as far as a popular sport in the US. And they're saying with the rule changes, things are changing. I'll tell you what, postseason baseball to me is one of one. And I think when you have the product that you want, and in this case, I know, we're based out of Baltimore, right? So the area would have hates to see, sorry, Tim, the Yankees, the baseball fan, though. You love it. You love what this does here. And also, I'm a Tim Mayza fan. So, Tim, you go and win a World Series, man. I'm happy for you. Same with Soto.
Tim, you win a World Series, go fuck yourself, but I love it. All right.
It's a journey to get to where it is here, and I think that this is something that can help move the game forward even more. And it's gonna be great. And then all of a sudden, though, the reality is the season's gonna be over, and there's no guarantee. Then, Tim, you can speak to it as well. There's no guarantee you get back here. 1983 was the last year Baltimore's gone to a World Series. Not even won it.
Tim, enjoy this. Just whatever you do, enjoy this, please.
Yeah.
At their weddings, enjoy this. No matter if you ever get there, if you win it or you lose it. And I'm not trying to enjoy it, please, man.
Yeah. Maybe in an
really
interview,
want to
I'll drop, hey, what are you going to do when the season's over? Oh, I'm going to the Chaucer.
No, I don't care about that. I want you to enjoy it for yourself. You and your family, man. Enjoy it.
It'll be fun.
Tim.
Yeah.
Where maybe Brooks asked this. Where is the Judge jersey hanging?
Oh, so I just got that, so it's not even like I have to get it framed and everything. But yeah, I just got that jersey this year, and then he just signed one for my son, which was super cool too. And yeah, he's a great guy. He is the captain. He's the guy, and he kind of holds everything together and really holds this group together. But
yeah, Tim said he was going to sign one for his son as well.
Yeah.
Did he end up? Well, I know you wanted to have like a separate one for him.
Yeah, he did a separate one. Yeah, he just put like best of luck, Aaron Judge, AL MVP. But yeah.
Those guys are going in the man cave.
Yeah, and I know the context for it for anyone that's listening. It was Tim was on with us on the Ryan Ripken show 4 or 5 months ago, and had to bring up when you were in studio, when you came into town, you were playing with the Blue Jays. You came in the studio, and I just had to bring up because you're entwined with history. Yeah. And shout out, I got another friend, Mike Bauman is unfortunately enshrined in history with Ohtani.
Okay.
Giving up the 50th home run.
This is not a good trend, Ryan. This is not.
No. If you're friends with you, you're a part of history. You can look at it two ways here. Yeah. So, I got to ask a baseball question. I got to hop off here in a moment, though, Tim, and maybe you talked to us, maybe you didn't. And again, and Brooks, because this is for anyone that's noticing, this is Gary Williams stole my lawn furniture. Say that 10 times fast. And then the Ryan Ripken Show collaboration. So make sure you guys, if you're new to it, like
and Zach and go ahead, Zach, go ahead.
Oh, Kevin and Zach React, yeah.
Kevin and Zach React, yeah.
You
guys are awesome. You guys are
appreciate
awesome.
that.
Awesome.
Hey Tim, I got to know baseball wise here with. It's not strategy wise, but with this Dodgers lineup specifically, and the guys that you would potentially have to face, you got to be ready to face all of them. We know what they are capable of doing, and it's putting up runs in a hurry. But like guys like, Ohtani's a unicorn, but like to me, like Mookie Betts is still one of those guys that is such a superstar. But because Ohtani's there, you forget how damn good Mookie Betts is and Freddie Freeman. I would argue that they probably are able to fight off as many pitches as well as anybody in baseball. How do you try to combat that, at least in that case? Because let's call it pesky hitters. You guys have that with Judge and Soto, but I'd argue that the Dodgers then might have three of the best on the other side with Ohtani, Mookie,
Yeah.
and Freddie.
Mhm.
That was a Keith Morrison answer, by the way, or a Keith Morrison question. Pesky.
Yeah, we I mean, we just got done playing the Guardians, who I feel like now they might not have the slug that the Dodgers have. But man, their bat to ball skills were great for that series. I mean, just like very low strikeout, put the ball in play. You felt like there was constant kind of pressure where, they got on base and they're stealing bases. I mean, they just were great. I think for them as well as, for these guys, there's a little more slugs. So, there's a little more concentrate areas where it's like, hey, these guys do damage. If you come here, like just be prepared for what could happen. But no, I mean, with anybody, I'm trying to get the ball on the ground in 3 pitches or less. It's like ball on the ground or 2 strikes, like what's going to come. And then obviously you have your shots, but it seems like these guys, like you got to be willing to challenge them and get them out in the zone. And I don't think, from watching them, there's not a whole lot of expansion. I think they might have set a record, or I feel like us and them kind of pair where there's a lot of patience. There's not a whole lot of expand, and you got to really challenge us, and we got to challenge them, and get them on the ground and just execute quality pitches in areas that we know the least damage is going to get done.
Hey Ryan, you should probably unmute. So unprofessional. I'm sorry, Tim. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bunch of amateurs over there.
Yeah. Hey, but Tim, the part I was going to say is 3 pitchers or less. No offense. Love you. Great guy.
Yeah.
The more time that they see you because you're not throwing 97,
Yeah.
sometimes some would say, I would never say this. I would say this. Sometimes 80 poo might get there and it's not going to get the job done, as you know. But your thing is deception. And the longer that someone can see you, but it's not just a you thing. That's any pitcher. That's why Hunter Gaddis got hit.
Yeah.
Is that there's a picture there. Actually, I'm going to put that breakdown down. Juan Soto was shaking his head and even said after the game, like, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you now. It's the same thing, but I that's a good mentality. 3 or less.
Yeah.
3 or less.
Yeah. I mean, the more they see you, the more their timing is going to get down, and the more they're, they know where, okay, this pitch starts here, this is where it ends. And they're not thrown off. I think that's why playoffs, we spoke on this briefly, but it's just like for those first 2 games, it's almost like a little bit of a feeling out. Like obviously you want to take those first 2 games, but you're seeing, okay, how are these hitters attacking? How are they adjusting? Are they doing anything different from what maybe we discussed in the scouting meeting? And then, prior to games like, 3, 4, 5, maybe it's like, hey, he's doing this that he wasn't doing during the season, or he's doing more of this in the postseason. And you're kind of like adjusting. So I think when you look at this 7-game series, like it's just baseball is a game of adjustments anyway. But I think like you're making constant adjustments on the fly with how these guys are attacking hitters and certain pitches. And I mean, we're going to play the game. Hopefully it's a phenomenal series, and it's one that everybody talks about. And I mean, this is definitely what baseball wanted when you look at the collection of talent that's going to be out there. And so it'll be a fun one to be a part of. And super, super excited.
Baseball is a chess match, and you have absolutely run into the right place. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm going to run out of here. Thank you guys very much. Kevin and Zach react. Ryan Ripken show. Brooks is amazing. Tim, love you, man.
See you.
Get out of here, dude.
Yeah, I got to run here in a second. Tim, so you're flying out to LA?
Yeah, tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll have a workout in the morning, fly out. Thursday workout, like media, and then Friday, Saturday. So,
damn.
Yeah, he was saying they didn't get back to like 6 a.m. I think from Cleveland.
Yeah, from Cleveland. Yeah, it was like 6 a.m. We were flying out anyway, but then celebration kind of pushed the bus back, a few hours.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that. That's still the one thing, man. Of all for playing, when people ask, do I miss playing? I go, yeah, like with a lot of my teammates that are in Baltimore now, of course you want to play because it's the game that you love, but it's those celebrations, man. Like there's just nothing like it at any level. And the older you get, the less it happens. So
Yeah.
Did you do anything you shouldn't have though? You were under control, right? Tame?
Yeah. Like I had to drive because we were going home. So like
Smart man.
Yeah, it wasn't too rowdy, but this next one potentially could get out of hand.
I hope so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what else are you preparing for at that point? There's hope pitchers and catchers don't report for a little bit. You got time to get over it.
Yeah. See, that's what we can do at that point. For us, we can pop bottles if we get to certain milestones, but you win a childhood dream and go and win a World Series. Yeah, I won't be mad. I'll just be disappointed, Tim, if you don't celebrate properly. I know you will.
Yeah.
If he doesn't celebrate properly, then I didn't do my job in college.
There you go.
That's really what it comes down to.
Hey, Tim, you're a good kid. I got to pop out of here, man. Safe travels. Be good. And we'll talk soon. All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
I think we're gonna end this in general. Just because I've been on podcasts way too long today. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Ryan and Zach, for hopping on. So
also appreciate you guys.
Yep. All right. See you.